And, Jeri, and thanks again for joining the show. It was definitely a pleasure following you in your movement for the past couple of years and seeing you really help transform so many people's lives. So with your organization, just give them more of like a detail what Fly Credit would do on a day-to-day basis to help clients, whether personal or business.
Oh, absolutely. So with our personal customers, our customers that are working on their personal credit, we help them with removing derogatory information from their credit reports. We also teach them on how to do that as well. So they don't necessarily have to hire us, but we give them that opportunity to make an educated decision whether or not they will. We go through a lot. Our day-to-day operation is really about education. We lead with education. We're always coming up with new content, more articles, more blog posts, things that help educate people about responsible money management. So That's pretty much what we do every day, all day. We talk to numerous people every single day, and our whole goal is to coach each and every one of them to financial success. Ariane, honey, could you please sit down and eat your food, babe? Yes, here you go. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're a mama, see, and that's the beauty of with the Manny Hall Show. So it's like you don't have to stick to a particular script. It's not like, oh, I have to put my kids to bed. They have to be quiet. No, this is part of your life, and this is what I want people to see because, a lot of entrepreneurs, they are parents. And you don't always have a babysitter. You can't always have them dropped off somewhere. So this is part of your life, and you're still a businesswoman handling your business, but your kids are your priority as well, right?
True. Very true.
Absolutely. So tell me, why is financial literacy so important?
Oh, it really came from my own struggle that I had with my own finances and credit. Right, okay. My parents didn't really teach me about money management or credit, and I had to learn a lot of it the hard way. So, I have two children. I have a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old, and about 3 years ago, I decided that I wanted to become a homeowner, but my credit was standing in the way of me doing that. Okay. So I called myself hiring someone to help me with my credit. Long story short, they took my money and didn't do anything. So
wow.
I had to figure out how to do it on my own. I did a lot of research. I did so much studying. I took the time and energy to really learn the inside and out of how your credit works. So I repaired my own credit. I got my finances in order, purchased my first home 3 years ago. Now my kids have their own bedrooms to stay in, and I have my own office, and it's great.
And I know they're excited about that.
Extremely. Backyard. So I've been able to transform my financial situation for not only myself but for my family. So we've been able to teach, and our goal is to teach as many people as possible about that because it's very important. People can't get jobs, they can't get homes, they can't get cars, they can't live without having good credit.
Right.
So
and that's so you brought up an excellent point because it's like, for people that try to disengage from the importance of credit and say, well, cash is king and all I need is money and this and that, at the end of the day, our society has changed. It's not the same anymore. So credit is not only important, but it's a way of the life that we live. And if you don't have good credit, then you suffer. And it's almost like related to social media for a lot of people to say, I don't need social media, no big deal. I don't need to be. I'm off the grid. Well, that sounds good in theory, but in actuality, we're moving to a place where everything is centered around social media.
It is. I basically run my businesses on social media.
Yep.
It's a very powerful platform that you can connect with so many different people and personalities, and you don't have to even see them in real life.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And so with your organization, the industry that you're in, do you sometimes see it as tough to educate people that don't really see the value in it?
Not really, honestly, because I personally believe that people that want the information, they will find it, they will accept it, and they will actually act upon it. Some
Gotcha.
people, if they don't value it, they just don't value it. But
Okay.
our
So you don't
focus
spend your time trying to convince them.
Nope, not at all. Because when their time comes, when they're ready, they will be. So we just keep putting the information out there to give them that opportunity to learn it. If they don't learn it, then nothing will ever change.
Absolutely. So it's more so like planting seeds and waiting for it to grow.
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. So your journey as an entrepreneur, you told me about, your financial struggles, but what made you say, I want to do this as a business?
What made me say I'll do it as a business?
Yes.
It just kind of turned into a business, actually. I not only help myself with my credit, but I help family, I help friends, just to test the concept, just to make sure that it worked. And it worked with them. I helped them transform their credit as well, and then it just turned into a business. So they referred family and friends. So it just kind of grew organically through referrals. And then I just say, you know what, this is helping a lot of people. This is truly helping a lot of people. It feels good to help somebody get into a new house. Absolutely. It feels good to help someone do something that they ultimately wanted to do. And then when I got into entrepreneurship and I realized how powerful business credit is, I really decided that I wanted to go all in and say, this is what I really wanted to do. So I educate myself all of the time about new laws, new regulations, things that people should know, because as a professional, that's my job. So it just kind of turned into a company. It's kind of strange how it happened, but it's just how it happened.
And you haven't looked back since?
Nope, never looked back since. And it's funny because at the time I was so frustrated with my job at the time, and they sent me out to Maryland for 2 months right before Thanksgiving. So I wasn't here for Thanksgiving. I wasn't here for Christmas or New Year's. And I was away from my children. It was just a difficult situation for me. And, so I went out there, and the frustration just started to set in. And I took that 2.5 month mark, that time period to develop the company. I developed the website, I launched the company literally in 2 months because of my own.
So you weren't playing around, man?
No, not at all. It was probably one of the worst situations I had ever been in personally, and I just knew that I couldn't find myself there again.
Wow. So a lot of times for entrepreneurs, they will get pushed into situations like you just explained, because the frustration is there. Like, I can't go to this regular job. Even if it's a great paying job, it's like, I just can't do this anymore. And you begin to look at yourself in a different way. And it's almost like fight or flight. Like, I could continue going on and living through this struggle of day-to-day life at this job and going through the regular routine, or I can venture out and do something different. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's not an easy decision for anybody. Entrepreneurship is a risk. 100% risk. And I quit my job. I walked away from it altogether. I didn't have a significant amount of savings, nothing. I just said, you know what? I have to make this work one way or another. And that's exactly what I did. So I just committed myself to educating people and really just planting those seeds and getting the awareness out there that this is important and you should take it into consideration.
Right. So, Jeri, talk about that process, because, again, you had 2 small children. And, well, I guess they're not as small as they were back then. But during that time, you decide, okay, I'm going to take this leap of faith. I'm going to go do this. Talk about that standpoint and the process behind that, because you were a mom and you didn't have a large amount of savings. Talk to those other single moms that are thinking of venturing out to do their entrepreneurship journey, but they're scared.
Oh, man. Fear will... I've been there, and I was there for a really long time, actually. And one day I just woke up, and I decided that I just didn't want to feel like this anymore. I didn't want to leave my children. I didn't want to spend 12, 13, 14 hours a day at work, and I wasn't able to take my children to school. I wasn't able to pick them up. I wasn't able to help them with homework. It was too much. So for me, it was just really about making the decision to make the commitment. Once I
Okay.
made the commitment, then the action followed. And I didn't really get caught up in worrying about how I felt about it or me being tired and not getting any sleep. And there's been plenty of late nights and early mornings, but that just comes along with that process of working a full-time job and still trying to work on your passion at the same time. It's not easy. If it were, everybody would do it. But you got to make the commitment. You got to say, you know what, no matter how I feel, no matter what day it is, no matter what it is, I'm going to make this thing happen. I'm going to go for it, hell or high water.
I love it. So you got to put in the work, though.
Yes. Entrepreneurship does not reward anyone that does not work.
I love that. And it's so important for those that are listening to everything she just said. You've got to put in the work. It's going to be challenging. The process is going to look different for everybody, like I said before. But if you don't give up and you have a good product, a good service that's actually helping someone, you will achieve your dreams. But it's not going to be easy.
Without a doubt. As long as you keep going, you'll get there. But it can seem a little difficult at first. When you're there and when you're in the midst of it, your bank account isn't reflecting what you want it to reflect, and you're not getting as many leads as you like to get. It's not easy at all. But it's really all about proper preparation, knowing ahead of time what you want to do in the direction that you do want to go in, and then just taking those necessary steps to make that happen.
Okay, now let's talk about Fly Credit for a minute. So first off, what made you come up with that name? I really like it a lot.
Everything else was taken. Honestly, I had looked up so many different credit repair or just names for the company, and it was so difficult to find. So you know what? I said, I want to make this a cool thing. I want it to be cool to have good credit. So I came up with that, Fly Credit Solutions. You want to make a good fly investment? This is going to be it. So that was the idea behind it, to make it cool.
So when someone comes to you, let's walk through that process. How do you help them?
Good question. So the first thing we do, of course, is we have to qualify them to make sure that we can even help them.
Okay.
Some people, they're not really as aware of their credit reports as we are, of course. So we take an objective approach, and we look at their credit reports from the outside, and we tell them, this is what your credit looks like now. This is where it can be in, X amount of months. Because most people have a goal to either get a home or a vehicle, and they have specific goals that they want to achieve. So first we identify what that is so that we can figure out what steps we can take on our part to help them get there. But that's mostly the bulk of it, is just finding out what's on their credit, what's hurting their credit score, what steps we can take together to get them to their end goal.
So it's more of a relationship and partnership that's built. So they can't just do it on their own and expect you to say, here, do all of this, or vice versa. You just get all their documents and say, okay, I'll take care of everything. You can just sit there and do nothing. Basically,
yeah, because credit repair, it's very much so a back and forth process. You have to be very diligent to get the results that you're looking for. And most people just don't have the time. They don't have the time to follow up every 30, 35 days. They don't have the time to make phone calls. They don't have the time to write letters. They just don't have the time. So even though we do give the information, we give the letters, we give a lot of great content that people can use. And they do, actually. They do use the information. But then what happens is about a month or two down the line, they're like, I don't have time for this. And then they give us a call to have us do it for them.
Oh, wow. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's funny how that works, but yeah, we're all about giving them the tools they need to succeed, because you can definitely do it yourself. By all means, you can.
Yeah, and that's the way of the world as well, that there's a lot of companies that are here to help in the service industry like yours. And it's not that you can't do it yourself, but I provide this service for you to, one, make it easier for you, make it more convenient for you, and to be able to have better results than you would have done all by yourself.
Right.
So
Exactly.
if we look at like Uber, for instance, nobody needed Uber, but it's fast, it's convenient, and it saves so much time for the consumer. Why wouldn't I do an Uber? Why wouldn't I do that? Now, there were taxis before, but I'm going to wait on a taxi, but the Uber's going to be way quicker.
Mhm. Uber, Airbnb, technology is really bringing the consumer and the business together.
Yep.
It's interesting.
Absolutely.
I love Uber.
Absolutely. So, do you have any like helpful tips or advice for people that are trying to get their credit fixed in the new year?
I would say take action. Pull
Okay.
your credit reports. Find out what your scores are. Find out what's hurting your credit. If you have collection accounts, late payments, you got to get it cleaned up. If you want to buy a house, there are certain things that you need to have. So you need to have good credit. You have to have low debt-to-income ratios. A lot of things that you have to have put into place. But the very first step, is pulling your credit reports and reviewing your scores to see where you are now to determine where you want to go.
That makes sense. Now, should they go to the normal freecreditreport.com? There's some other ones that are out there that are more helpful.
Oh, there's so many of them. I mean, most people use Credit Karma, but Credit Karma only gives you 2 credit reports out of the 3. But people can do Credit Check Total. Credit Check Total is another great one. It's $1 to pull their credit reports. It'll give them their FICO reports and their scores. But if they just want their credit reports for free, they can go to annualcreditreport.com and they'll give them the full credit reports for free, but it will not include the scores.
That's really good to know. I think a lot of people feel like they have gotten bamboozled by going there. It's like, no, we never said we were giving you the scores. We just said we were giving you the report.
Right. It's an annual credit report, but it does not include scores.
Right, absolutely. So tell me what motivates Jeri.
What motivates me? A challenge. I like a challenge. That's what motivates me ultimately as a person. So I like doing things great. I like being the best at things. I like a challenge. That's what I like. I like new things. I like being of service to people. That's really like the core of who I am. So if it's challenging and it's helping people in a way that I probably didn't even really imagine, like I wouldn't have never imagined that my business would be where it is today.
That's awesome.
And it really just comes from working hard and being or wanting to be the best at what I do. So, yeah, that's what gets me up in the morning. That's what motivates me to do what I do. My kids, they love what I do, so they even help me at home. So I ask them to help me with a couple of tasks. So they're able to help me with doing that. So it's really nice. It's really this is what I asked for. I asked for this. So the
challenge motivates you.
Yes.
Are there any interesting books right now that you're reading or that you've read?
Right now I'm reading Power versus Force.
Power versus Force.
Yep, Power versus Force by I cannot remember the doctor. You know what? I'll have to Google it. I don't even remember the author's name right now, but that's the name of the book, Power versus Force. The last book I read was 7 Habits of Really Effective People.
Nice. Now, let's talk about that book that you were in the process of reading, The Power of Force. Like, what is that about exactly?
It's about human consciousness. It's about building relationships from a conscious standpoint. I haven't been able to read all. I just got started in it last week on Tuesday. So I'm kind of moving through it now, but I'll definitely keep you in the loop to let you know everything. It's really just about transferring energy and good energy with people and fostering good relationships with people as well through that.
And that's so important, though, because, like, this there's like this negativity, like atmosphere, I would call it, that's just hovering around city after city after city. And, you know, many times we say like, well, you know, it's not about the city, it's about you, but sometimes it's like, it's so thick with people being negative, it becomes kind of hard to break through that. So it doesn't matter sometimes how positive you are. If you get around too many negative people, that will bring you down. And that's why I always suggest, you know, the clients that I work with, you gotta watch the people that you're hanging around on a consistent basis. It's not just because they're broke and they ain't got no nice house, no nice car, but more so their mindset.
Mentality,
like if they are negative and trying to bring you down, it's gonna hurt you.
Oh yes, I've been there. I've done that a little too many times actually.
Wow.
So I know that is true. When you're around that negative energy, it's bound to bring you down, without a doubt. But like you said, it's not because they don't have any money or they broke. It's really about what's rolling around in their brain.
Yep.
And you know,
Absolutely.
I've been there.
Yeah, and I know that I've been there as well, like on both ends. I've been that negative person that always had something destructive to say, maybe even sometimes unconsciously, but I was just sabotaging my own happiness, and I didn't want anybody else happy around me because I'm like, well, if I'm happy, why should you be happy? And, you know, that was like the wrong way to approach life and my relationships. So, Jeri, as we close, can you give them all of your contact information that you want them to contact with Fly Credit? If you've got any specials going on for the month of January, that they come, tell them all of that.
Oh, yeah. So if anybody wants to reach me, they can reach me directly. My email is Jeri, Jeri, @flycredit.com. I'm also on Facebook. That's Jeri.Toliver. That's also the same name for my Instagram, Jeri.Toliver. And then you can connect with me any way. Email is best, though. Email is best. But they can connect with me that way, and then I'll be more than happy to answer any questions, concerns, to help them lead their way down their financial path. But as far as specials, we'll be running some specials next month. We ran some specials last month, but we have some do-it-yourself courses that we're going to be launching, as well as some business credit courses. So be on the lookout for those, because we're going to be dropping a lot of great content that's going to help people this year, for sure.
Great. Well, Jeri, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I really appreciate you taking the time away from your busy schedule. We will definitely have you back on the show soon, because you have such value to add to the show with the audience, because what you're offering is just amazing and really beneficial to everybody. So
I appreciate that.
Thank you, everybody, for listening today. We will talk to you soon. You guys be blessed.